Welcome back to Let's Laugh About It.
We're back.
We're back.
If you're watching, we're snuggled up in bed.
Yeah.
This is also our third time introing this episode, so.
Yeah, because we're on the road. We're in LA. We just got back from a gorgeous dinner, which was fun.
Yeah, it was so fun.
It was fun. Actually, let's talk about this.
So it was like, we were talking about the dinner, which I had a great time. If anybody from Gorgeous listens to this, it just is, that's the preface. But Zoe's like, did you have fun? I had fun. And I was like, yeah. And I thought about it for a second and I was like, well, I mean, I didn't have like fun. I had a good time. Like when I think of fun, I think of like, I went to Disney World today and it was so much fun and I had like an amazing time. Like dinner, like when we're just like talking about some work things isn't like fun.
And then I'm like, that was my dream. I loved talking about CX. So I just thought it was such a funny, like...
No, and it was fun. That's why I was saying preface. I did have fun. It just was like a funny, like after I answered her, I was like, wait, did I have fun?
And it's funny too, because you compared it to Disney World and I was like, no, that is like, I love Disney World, but like I just had as much fun as I did I do in Disney World.
But it was good. Zoe was talking to her little head off. But yeah, it was a nice time.
Yeah, and it's rare I love talking to the gorgeous people because, or even really just CX in general, but the gorgeous people in particular, because I can tell them like my frustrations, my happiness, my like the story. Like I have so much history with Gorgeous as far as like using it as a tool and seeing it evolve and like Gorgeous. Not to be dramatic or
and this isn't sponsored.
This is not sponsored at all, but like Gorgeous legitimately changed my life in so many different ways because it's made and this is like this
job easier, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it's sponsored, but it's not. But it made my job easier. It made like my team more effective, and then also I used Gorgeous for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, maybe longer before even understanding that there was like this whole marketing side behind it.
Yeah.
And then meeting the team. I don't know, just like so many different ways. So anyone who wants to listen to me talk about Gorgeous, I will talk to them.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so why are we here?
We're here for CX Advisory Day tomorrow. I'm going to be speaking on like a roundtable, I believe it's, more actually.
It's sort of kind of like, honestly, what it seems like to me, and I guess we'll know more next week when we talk about it, but it actually kind of seems like it's really just like, which is pretty cool. It's sort of like just a day where like the advisors quite literally just kind of like give Gorgeous their opinion.
Sweet. So I'm going to go to Disney World tomorrow.
So Zoe's going to be in Disney World tomorrow. But yeah, so we're here for that. And then Six Connect is on Wednesday. Yeah, we have like no rhyme or reason to this episode.
Because our life has been crazy. I begged Jackie to fly to Portland with me to go.
Yeah, that's what we could talk about to be in this episode, or to like the main of this episode is just like a catch up. So what have we been doing the last few days?
We flew to Portland. We picked up the Cybertruck. We drove it to first Chico, California.
Yeah.
And then to LA.
It's basically a 14-hour drive without like stops. And we did basically 7 hours each day, which ended up being perfect. Yeah. So yeah, we ended up in Chico the first night. Beautiful town. I don't have much to say. I just was happy to be back in California, honestly.
You were so happy. I thought that the drive would be worse. I think it wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. And
it's a pretty drive.
It is pretty. It was beautiful, especially through Oregon. Oregon seemed like forever. It lasted forever.
Yeah.
Even though it looks on the map like a small state. But
it's huge.
Maybe, yeah. But it was beautiful.
But I guess we were on the tippy top of it.
Tippity top.
Because we were like right on the border of Washington.
Yeah. We were at Portland. Yeah, we actually started technically in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's kind of exciting because Cybertrucky is coming to Scottsdale after this.
Yep.
And the vlogs are back.
Vlogs are back.
They'll be up
Tomorrow. The same day that this podcast goes live.
So if you're listening to this, you can watch the next Cybertruck monetization video, which is cool because I'm going to spoil it here because I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Well, actually, maybe I shouldn't because we don't have a contract signed.
Yeah, we shouldn't. But just know something. You can give the gist. Just don't give any details.
Can I say something, what it is? Like what it's been. I won't say who or what.
Yeah. You can do that.
Okay. Cybertrucky was asked to be on a TV show. I could say that.
Yeah.
And so that'll be fun because it'll spice up the monetization variety because right now it's been like $5 on Twitch.
If you want to know prices, you actually have to watch the vlog that went live today. We're not going to give it right now. But there's not much variety going on. So this will spice up the variety of the content. Yeah.
Which will be great. And I'm excited because now the Cybertrucky will be in Scottsdale and we can make content with it.
Which I think will give it way more range because right now, like for context, it's kind of in just like it was kind of just in like a random town. Like in all honesty.
Yeah, it was.
Get your fingers away from the buttons. It's giving me a heart attack. Like they're too close.
Testing.
No, they're fine, but like
But then I'm too close to the wire. Okay. All right. Wait.
Here's the thing. It's to give you guys some context. It's 9:46 p.m. the day before. So it's 9:46 p.m. This podcast goes live.
It's today Monday
at 3 a.m.
Right. Yeah.
So Zoe can't make me edit this. That's why I was like, get those fingers away from those buttons.
I need to make a shout out to my CX team at Audion right now.
Okay, go for it.
I love you guys so much because
and they listen.
Yes, and
you'll have to tell them they get a shout out in it.
Okay, I'll tell them. But I don't know if maybe they listened because they saw Brittany was also on it last week.
Oh yeah.
But I just keep getting messages like randomly from random agents that tell me they listened, and today I got the sweetest one ever. I read it out loud to you, I think.
No.
They said that they looked at my looked at the podcast, they looked at my Twitter, they looked at the inevitableagency.co and like the website, and they were like, I'm so excited to learn from you or something like that. And I was like, that was the sweetest thing ever. And I didn't realize, we make this content and it's fun and I want to like share CX stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't think about who's listening.
Yeah.
And I realized that it's like really cool to be like a positive influence on, my direct team.
Yeah.
Which before, obviously, my direct team at my previous jobs get like really one-on-one experience with me.
Yeah.
But now the team is so big. I showed you the org chart. It's huge.
Yeah.
For just the CX team.
Yeah.
I don't get like one-on-one, but they obviously are impacted by like the changes I'm making in CX.
Yeah.
And like the, morals and all these things. And so it's cool to see it like, even though I'm not directly, working with those individuals every single day, they like really appreciate.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah. I feel like it's like so crazy. Even like just like Zoe's team is, I don't know. Can you say numbers and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to say the number, I guess, but Zoe's team is like really big. And even just in my time working with Zoe, like building that team, I've like seen like 20 or so people come through, and it's like so crazy, like to think like that I don't know, like you're not getting as much like one-on-one time, but like it still feels like the impact you're making on them is huge.
Yeah.
Also, the laptop screen keeps going like dark, so that's why we keep doing that.
Yeah, and
if you're watching,
this is a raw video, so we don't have time to edit it, so you're just watching it. You're getting a raw video.
Yeah.
So I was actually just talking to one of the founders of the company, my main company that I work for, and joking around, talking about how I was telling him basically like his interview questions for me, that I was basically telling him he's so lucky that I figured things out.
That everything worked out. Yeah.
That everything worked out, because I was like, the interview questions that you asked me did not prepare me for what I actually like. it just like didn't match up, but I love it so much, and we've been able to make so much progress, and the team is so big and everything.
Yeah.
But we were just like joking around because I was like, oh my gosh, you did not prepare me for like this wildness. It's so cool, but it's wild.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like so, I feel like such a thing all the time. Like even like, I don't know, the role that I'm in now, like at like the agency is like, actually, like if I think about like what I thought I'd be doing, like
Wait,
when we first started, I'm like not at all doing that.
What did you? Okay, so Jackie started out with your first role was podcast help.
Literally, like when I started working with Zoe, it was for her previous podcast, and it was literally not even to edit or even make graphics or anything. I was basically given all of that. I just had to like, they just needed somebody to like post, because you're shocked. You'd be shocked by how time consuming just the posting part is. And my only job was to post, right?
Yeah.
I would make podcast covers, because there was a different cover for every episode, because the old podcast, it was like a guest was on every episode. So I would edit that. But even that was like, it already had like a template, so I was just like putting whoever was on that week their picture in it.
You helped with some communication with guests and stuff, but
not like to such a small degree. When I look back now, it was like so small. Not to like not give myself credit, but it's and I wouldn't even have to edit anything. I would just get the reels from somebody.
You would upload you would upload like the podcast, make sure it went live, and show notes.
Posting. Okay, so I would post everything. I would do the show notes. I'd post on socials, whatever. And then it transitioned to like, okay, you're helping me with this. I need somebody to like pay these parking tickets. Oh, no, it literally started as like, I have parking tickets that I just like can't find the time to pay. And I'd be like, all right. And then it slowly became like, I'm going to loop you in whenever I get like somebody, wanting to talk to me for XYZ reason. There's like a million different reasons why somebody might be reaching out to Zoe. So then she would just start being like, I'm going to put you on these emails. And then I'm like, okay. So then slowly I'm like, just kind of like helping her with random things. And then it was like, I need somebody to do payroll for me. I need somebody to do a P&L for the business. We have to pay taxes. I need somebody to blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like literally like HR.
Remember when one of your tasks was, hey, Jackie, I'm not sure if the business is in good standing. Could you check that out?
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, can you check to see if the LLC is in good standing? And it was like so then we had to pay like a huge, this is a reminder to anybody, like, cause I feel like it's really easy to forget when you have to like do that. And they don't remind you, at least if there's an email that they're emailing, it's not one that Zoe uses.
No.
They don't email you to remind you. You're supposed to just be in charge of your business.
I thought you were gonna say you're an adult.
That's what I was gonna say. But I was like, so when we refiled or whatever, she wasn't in good standing. Which who is? Just kidding. She was in good standing. You're still in good standing even when you're late. But it's hard to explain. If you get it, you get it.
If you don't know, you
know. So we had to pay like $500, and I was like, okay, Zoe. And I was talking to Zoe, and I remember coming into her room and being like, because this is when we lived together.
I remember like the moment where I was like in my closet.
Yeah, I came into your room and I was like, we're gonna have to pay $500 to like reinstate like the LLC, but going forward, like every year, if you're on time, it's literally like $75. And then this year when we did it, I remember like email or texting you and being like, just so you know, like I just reinstated the business and it was $75, and I was like so excited because in my head it felt like I saved us $500.
Yeah,
because if I didn't help you probably would have paid $500.
Literally more than that, because I would have done it every single year. You save me $500 every year.
Yeah But like we always joke about that stuff, I feel like, with you, and I like, oh my God, it's so ridiculous, like whatever, but like it's actually like not like, that's why we even talk about like payroll. Me and Zoe were talking about this today. We're like, because we're like switching some things around, whatever, and we're like talking about payroll and that kind of stuff, and we're like, I mean, that running payroll, like the person who runs payroll, like my full-time job, running payroll and being on top of people's timesheets is that person's full-time job.
No, and at previous jobs, when I realized we hired someone to it's HR, but to me, I saw it as, wow, we have an entire person to give people access to systems or make sure that they like
And it
know
seems
how to,
ridiculous.
It seems ridiculous. And I'm like,
It's
fuck,
not.
I need that. Or I needed it for just the agency. And there was like 5 of us.
Yeah.
And now with Audion, we were like, who's going to keep up with every new employee? And we were hiring in batches too. I'm like, I don't have anyone to, like, I certainly don't have time to put every single person in all these systems. It's such like an easy task, but I don't have time in the day to do normal stuff.
Well, what's weird too is it's an easy task, but there's so many things that can go south. Like even like reviewing like our people's like timesheets. It's like, okay, I could just be like, they did their timesheet, pay them, whatever. But it's like then, especially like when you're small or starting out, or we're finding recently because I check the timesheets, we're finding like inefficiencies or whatever. And it's like, that's how like a company loses money. So like, yeah, if you're like not taking the time to have somebody like do it, like imagine if we just like weren't reviewing timesheets.
Oh my gosh, we would lose. Well,
and places do that because they don't have the hands.
I've told this story on the podcast before, so you guys can listen to the whole story on another podcast. But when I first started the agency, and I just, it was podcast without Jackie's help. It was full-time job. It was agency. I didn't have Jackie's help at the agency, so I was doing all the things that Jackie just spewed off. And I didn't have time to dig into the efficiencies. And I literally brought myself, the agency bank account and my personal bank account to zero because there weren't efficiencies, and I ran out of agency money, and then I ran out of my own personal money.
Well, it's also such a tricky thing because there's so many checks and balances, and we're even like finding this like now, like there's so many things you have to pay attention to that, like if you're a founder, like trying to get like, like your agency, your company, your brand, whatever it is off the ground, but also like trying to like structure things, it's impossible. There's not enough time in the day. Like even just as little as like, okay, we're starting. And when you're starting, like you're really relying on people, like for example, like paying their invoices, but you're also paying employees, but you're also paying business expenses. Like right now we're running into a thing where like we're like really not, we're in like, normal, you have expenses. So you put those expenses on a credit card, whatever. And we're not like in debt is what my point,
Yeah.
But
it's fine.
Yeah. But my point is like I'm like, we've got people who need to pay their invoices, and then it's like we have to do payroll, but I'm like, I also could just like throw all this money at like this one expense, and I'm like, but what if like these people don't pay their invoices on time, and then you have to pay, like, so if you don't have somebody like solely like paying attention to that, because like if I wasn't paying attention to things, like if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, oh, like let's pay this expense, and then it's like, oh, but wait, so and so haven't paid their invoice yet. Like payroll's next week. Like there's so many like checks and balances.
Yeah.
When like you're running a business that it's like these roles, like the role that I'm doing right now, like I used to think like, why do we need one person to do that?
Yeah.
But you do.
You do. It's
There's
insane.
so much thought that goes into it.
The thing, and it actually reminded me of an issue I've come across this week, actually, this past 2 weeks. When you take a little bit here, a little bit there, and when you were saying it about the invoices, if each client is late on their invoices, if to them, the client is like, oh, well, I'll just pay it tomorrow. I'll pay it tomorrow. But then
our clients are great. We're just, these are just examples.
Yeah, this is just examples.
Yeah.
But like if every client, and it happens sometimes, and I'm not even blatant, like I do this to agencies because it's like something gets lost in my email. I have so many emails. I don't check my email.
Or even just in personal life, like the amount of times that I've gotten emails like your credit card bill was due 5 days ago. And I'm like, oh my God, how the fuck did I not pay my credit card bill?
And so sometimes like happenstance happens, and then just everyone does that at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. And so that's why it's like, it's interesting because a business isn't just like money in, money out. It's like money in, and like maybe keep that money there and build up the bank account just in case there's like
something happens.
Yeah, even if you're, I don't know, it's just crazy.
Which is something I did when I came over to the agency because when I first came in, keep in mind when I first came to the agency, we had like maybe like 2 reoccurring clients at the same time. And I remember I came over and I would like run payroll and then the bank account would be like 0 because we would like pay ahead on an expense or something that like we didn't actually need to like pay yet. You know, like I can't even think of an example right now. But
or
like,
no, so we were onboarding like tech too.
Yeah. So
and when you first started, I was trying to figure out how to get people in freaking benefits. And
oh my God.
Spent so much
money on that. Oh my God. That's what it was. So then we would like run payroll and it would be like 0. And then I'd be like, I finally like one day was like, okay. And I would like watch YouTube videos. Remember I would always watch YouTube videos to like try and learn how to like, I don't know, like know what to do when you're like dealing with money in like a smaller like business and stuff. And it really was like such a learning curve of like checks and balances, like the best way to put it. Like certain things need to be in certain places so that you can make sure like always have a cushion. You got people to pay. But it's like so fun to learn how to do all that stuff. And like I really do, it makes me feel like I could like, I have nothing that I like want to start right now, but like I feel like if I wanted to like start a business for some sort of purpose, I would like kind of know how to at least like get it going.
Isn't that an empowering feeling?
It is, yeah.
It's so cool because you can literally do anything.
Yeah.
And it's not, Jackie's not a rocket scientist.
No, I'm not.
Just kidding. You're literally almost a lawyer, but
actually on the subject of just like being smart with money, especially when you're small. And we're like not small, not to flex. we're small, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, but now I feel big. Like when I came on, we were small, like, you know, like perspective wise.
I didn't think we were small. No, I'm just kidding.
Perspective.
Perspective. No, I do. I still feel like, well, you compare yourself to huge things, so it's just crazy.
But I remember I took over the invoicing, and I remember it was like the first must have fallen on a Saturday. And we like invoice a lot of people, you know, on the first. And it was like, so yes, it fell on a Saturday. And so it was like Sunday. And Zoe was like, had said something along the lines of like, maybe she was like looking at our invoicing system or something. And she was like, why haven't we gotten these invoices out? Whatever. And I just like super casually, like I was like in the kitchen. It was like when we lived together. I remember I literally was just like cooking food or something. And I was like, oh, because the first was like yesterday, it was on a Saturday. So like I'm invoicing Monday. And Zoe was like, I could tell like Zoe died inside. Like she literally was like, I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but like already being, cause it's like, okay, so now we're technically, cause now I'm going to invoice, you know, on Monday. So that's the 3rd now. And so she's like,
we've already paid people.
So yeah. So like in Zoe's head, I could just tell she was like freaking out. Cause she's like, okay, well, I'm doing the math really quick in my head. And that means we're not even invoicing people until the 3rd. They're probably not going to even pay it till the 12th. Oh, and then it takes like a week or more sometimes, depending on how these people pay, to actually be in our bank. So then Zoe's like doing the math in her head, and she literally says out loud, I'll like never forget it. You go, well, you do know that we like just paid people, and like we're not even going to get those invoices. We're going to have a whole nother, because we pay like the 1st and the 15th. Zoe like out loud is just like, we're not even going to get that payment. We're going to have a whole nother payroll before we even get the payment that we needed for the payroll you just did. And I literally was like, not okay inside. She was very nice about it, but I remember being like, I'm going to literally cry. Like, what did I do? Like, and like, it really like wasn't in the world. Honestly, like this client probably, even if I had sent it on Friday, wouldn't have paid it on Friday.
Yeah.
But the point was just like, Zoe was like, and I think I remember you said something like they wouldn't have paid it, but like practice, like if the first falls on Saturday, maybe send the invoice on Friday.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Just like, but like, even just like things like that, because you have to think about everything. Like you can't, nothing can be delayed when you're.
It's so funny that you think, or that you even remember that, because I don't remember it at all. But now you're.
But it was like so important for me to remember. And now, like I always think about that. Or like if there's a holiday,
Yeah.
like I think about it. Whereas like then I feel like it wouldn't have even occurred to me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Even just because too, like, I don't know, like somebody would, a lot of people like, I know I like to get like all my loose ends tied up before like I'm on vacation for a holiday. I don't want to be like bothered with like somebody emailing me while I'm off, like invoices or whatever. Like we used to have a client who we invoiced on like, it might have been like the 25th or something. It might have literally been Christmas. And I feel like that too. I remember you being like, you probably are thinking about this, but like, just to like let you know, like, don't send our client an invoice on Christmas. It's kind of rude. And I remember being like, yeah, it probably would have occurred to me eventually, but like, good point, because I hadn't thought about it yet. And honestly, like, I probably would have woken up on Christmas and been like, invoice day.
It also, you just talking about this just jogs my memory of how much we had to like, I don't remember feeling like I had to teach you like this like etiquette, because what you're basically talking is like me teaching you etiquette.
Yeah.
But I don't remember having to do that. But it also reminds me that I never have to ask you to do anything ever, and it's just like gets done, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Because like I never have to be like, did we? Because when you first started, I think it was more of a me thing, because it was going from me invoicing to you invoicing. So I'd always be like, did you? You know, I just, because I also didn't exactly understand how you worked. So I didn't know if you were someone who needed reminders. Yeah. And I quickly realized you don't need reminders. Yeah. But the invoicing in particular was, you know, I was
scary.
Nervous.
Yeah.
I'm like, so scary. Did you send that?
Yeah.
So did they pay it?
Yeah.
Did they pay it today?
Yeah.
Did they pay it today? How about today?
And now I like have it all down pat. Like I know, because each client pays a different way. I'm like, okay, they paid that today. There's somebody who like that money will actually be in our account tomorrow. Somebody else, it's like we have a client who when they pay, it's not in our account for like 2 weeks. It just depends on what they pay through. So everything is like such a science. I'm like,
no, and it really is. I'm so grateful. I think I talk about this a lot, but I'm so grateful that I don't have to rely on the agency for me personally. So it's always like we have wiggle room of money that I should probably pay myself out with. But that's kind of like our safety net. Yeah. And then also I put all of my, you know, side projects into the agency bank account, and it's probably not the best way to run a business to be, you know, I think I say this too, of like, I'm not the best businesswoman. I just am really excited that I'm helping brands and like improving customer experience, and I'll like figure out how to make it more profitable later. Yeah. But I'm really grateful to have multiple streams, so that, you know, I've done it before. If the worst case is we run like clients don't pay on it like for whatever reason, we run out of money, and then I just give them my money.
Yeah, which hasn't happened
for a long time
since I've been, not to brag, since I've been brought on. And I always tell Zoe, like, over my dead body will it happen. Like I don't know, like it just won't happen. But or like literally like the agency will be like, we could really use like another body, and I'll literally be like, no, sorry. Like we're just no. Like unless I see like that we really like, and that sounds toxic. We don't need it.
She's not toxic.
If I say we don't need it, we actually don't need it. But like it's because you need somebody on the back end to be looking at stuff and to be like, we actually don't need it. We have people who want more hours. Yeah. We have like whatever, like, I don't know. But like, I feel like it'd be easy if like you didn't have somebody looking at the back end to just like, you'd probably be like, oh, sure.
No. And it's I always talk about how I need to be, and this is a tip for, you know, anyone who's doing anything. Yeah. But you need to remove yourself from those emotions connected to some of those things. And for me, I hope that you don't, I mean, now I'm listening to you. I'm like, oh shit, Jackie's like stressing about this shit that I used to stress about.
Oh, but, no, I'm not stressed.
Okay, good.
I'm not stressed. Sure? I'm positive.
Okay, good.
I'm really not.
Because I used to.
I tell you what will stress me out.
Yeah.
I'll always be like, Zoe, we're fine. But if we for some reason tomorrow lost 3 clients, I wouldn't be okay.
Right.
Well, who would be?
No, yeah, who would be?
Those are like normal stresses.
Yeah, those are normal stresses. But for me, I was like so emotionally attached to every decision, and so it would keep me up at night. I'm like worried about, you know, can I pay people? Like I'm gonna have to give them my pay kind of things. Yeah. And Jackie's been so like the emotion is, Jackie is such a cold-hearted bitch. She has no emotion.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it takes you one step away from the like, oh shit, you know. And even just some of the examples we were talking about at dinner where it's like things happen in business and you just have to be okay with them, because
you have to be okay with eating some shit sometimes.
you have to, and you have to prepare for them. And I'm grateful that you've helped me with this, because you can't be attached to the money.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about you, it's about your employees and about your clients, and just, you know, everything will work out, but you can't dwell on all the little things. And if you eat it, you eat it. I really, really tried to look at it as like, it's not even my money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even just like little things that we end up paying for, I'll even tell Zoe, like, it killed me to pay that when it's like something that we didn't end up utilizing or like whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, oh my God, it killed me to pay that. But it's like, I don't know.
You just have to do it.
It happens.
It happens and you learn from it. And I think that's the biggest thing is like, sometimes you have to spend money to learn.
And nothing's that big of a fucking deal.
No.
Like, actually, you could take this as a good or a bad thing. But since working with Zoe, I've like, and she actually used to say this, like, you used to say this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be like, all right, psychopath. But it's so true. Like,
my texts are on my screen.
It's like so distracting. I actually can't see what they say.
Because we're not editing this podcast, so.
Yeah. But I can't see what the text say because I'm too far and I'm blind. But I'm just like, what is happening over there? But I
used to say something.
So we used to always be like, I'm not that like stressed about money because like you can always like get it. And I would be like, I'd be like, okay, like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But it's actually so true. Like, even with the agency, like, you know, like, there's times, like, in any type of business, no matter, like, if you're an agency, brand, whatever it is, there's always times where you're going to be like, holy fuck, like, everything that could have gone south went south this month. Like, are we going to be okay next month? And, like, any time that I've ever even started to think that, and this was, like, in the beginning, because now I don't think like that because I've learned, but, like, I would be like so stressed. Like I actually was more stressed in the beginning. I have more responsibility now than I've ever had with the agency.
Yeah.
And I was way more stressed in the beginning.
Yeah.
I would never verbalize it, but I totally was. But it would be because I just was so new to it that I would get like scared. And now I've learned like, no, like, because even in times where like, I'd be like, oh my God, wait, like we have, which is a good thing. Like we've, I don't even want to call it like lost clients, but like when clients like, I mean, that's kind of the point. Graduate, yeah, like to transition out because like we did what it's a great thing. We actually keep it, like, you know, with everything, like say we like lost one month, which I don't like using the word lost, like transitioned out, graduated because we did everything that they needed from us. And we're not the type of people that are gonna like sell you on staying with us because we want to keep, we actually like really pride ourselves on that, like, and we'll be honest with our clients and be like, honestly, like like there's one client in particular that I'm thinking of that graduated that was literally because like, and they like loved us and they're like, if we ever need to work with you again, like we're calling you. But like, we were like, we don't have any more projects to offer you right now because like you're killing it. And we did what we needed. We fixed your pain points or whatever. Yeah. But like when that happened, I remember one month I was like, oh, like shit. And then like literally like 2 weeks later, we signed like a client who needed even more from us. So it was like more lucrative. And it was just like, and that was like, in that moment, I was like, that's what Zoe's talking about. Like, if you're like doing life correctly and like you're a good person and offering people things that they actually need and charging them a fair price and doing things correctly, like you're going to keep getting work and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah. There's always more money out there.
Yeah.
And I actually learned that.
Not even like money.
Yeah.
Like, things to solve that then bring money.
Or it's more, I just think that if you are a good person, also the universe will take care of you. And not to be like, I don't know, hippity dippity, but I always think of this one time when I was so broke. I was so broke, like barely can eat broke. And I got it was something with my teeth. I got a dental procedure. And this was like months ago, I got my dental procedure and I paid for it out of pocket because it was like really important to me, but my insurance didn't cover it. And then months later, I was like really, really broke and I went to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned and I needed money. I needed money. And I went to my dentist to get a cleaning and they were like, oh, by the way, your insurance actually ended up covering that. And they gave me my cash back.
You know what's so weird? I've been in situations too where like things like that have happened.
Yeah.
Like I like when we first moved to San Diego, because San Diego is so expensive, but when we first moved there, I just like I'm usually like really good on my budget, but I like miscalculated like severely my budget, and like I would feel like I remember it was like March of, what year is it, 2024? It was literally last year. It was March of 2023. Al was visiting, or April. Al was visiting San Diego, and we were like getting like brunch, and I like checked my like bank account, and I remember being like, where did all my money go? Like I was like I had credit cards I could use, but like I somehow had gotten like my actual like checking account to like zero, just because like so many automatic payments came out of it or whatever, and I like miscalculated, and I was like, I don't have any like liquid cash. Like if somebody was like, you need to Venmo me for something right now, I wouldn't have been able to. It was like that much at zero. And I at that time had to like sign up for, why was I like, I don't know, I was like renewing my bar prep, and I was renewing it, and I saw that I'd already paid the bar prep, and it said that I had but it actually said that I owed a balance. And I was like, how is this possible? I paid for this bar prep in full. And they were like, well, that's a mistake. And also like, I didn't end up you can get like hard copies of things, and I elected for it to just be on my computer, but they charged me as if I had gotten hard copies. And they're like, we actually owe you like $450. And I got like a $450 refund. And it was like the day after, like I had somehow gotten my like checking, and I obviously could have taken money out of savings, but like, you know, you don't want to do that. And it just was like, oh wow, I can get to like my next paycheck, and now I have like cash in my checking in case like something comes up. And it was like a weird thing like that too, where I was just like, oh my God, I'm like, am I actually broke right now?
Yeah. And I always remember the dentist one because it was so weird feeling like that. And then after that, you know, it just like happens. Where you're just like, I don't know. It's
things just like work itself out.
They just work themselves out. But I do think that it's a part of it. I don't know what the, you know, science behind whatever. But I do think it's like a mindset where if you get stuck in that mindset of like, woe is me, whatever, it's really hard for, you know, you to attract energy. I don't know. I feel like I'm being super hippity dippity, but
no, I agree.
It just happens, and
you know I'm hippity dippity with that stuff.
Yeah, and I think as long as I hope that everyone has these moments too, because I would feel really bad if like no one's had a moment like this. But you have these moments over and over again where you like it teaches you don't have to be scared. Yeah, and you really do have to take risks to like get benefits. And you see that me do this all the time where I just like make decisions that really probably are probably scary for the normal human, but I just know that I'll figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah. When I'll cut, this is the one thing I'll where are we? Because I'll cut it out if you can't say this. Does it say? Okay. But when Zoe left Chomps.
Oh yeah.
You left without something lined up.
Yeah.
Which I think you told them to and stuff. It's not like you were.
No.
It was like a fine.
She
just was ready to move on to like the next thing and had the agency and stuff. But at that time, the agency, like that was when I still like, you know, was like what we're kind of talking about, like was still in this place of like being so scared of stuff with the agency. And I remember, which is so weird to think about now because I'm like Zoe's like biggest supporter. But when I look back, and I remember when this was happening, like Zoe was like, I'm going to leave Chomps because I just feel like I'm ready for something else. I've like reached my potential in this stage of life and I like want to keep spreading my wings and do better. And I was like, I'm so supportive of that. But like, no, Like I was like, and you're just gonna like,
really
and you're
were
just gonna
scared for me.
like come to the agency where like at that time like
No, I wasn't able to. The agency couldn't pay me anywhere close.
Couldn't.
Couldn't.
But you know what the thing is though?
Yeah.
It couldn't technically, but I bet we would have figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We would have. Because like now, if you were still working at Chomps to this day and you were like, I'm going to quit Chomps tomorrow, Jackie, and come to the agency, of course I'd be a little nervous because who's not nervous when my job is to look at finances every single day. Mm-hmm. That's just like natural. But I would be like, yeah, do it. We could figure it out.
Yeah.
But like at that time, and I remember, I think I even was like saying that the reason I didn't want you to do it was because like I don't think I was even able to verbally admit that it was because I was scared that we couldn't figure it out. Mm-hmm. But that was why I was like, and it was because also like I know Zoe works really hard and stuff. And so I didn't want her to possibly come work for the agency and not be able to like make as much as she's worth. So it was also just like looking out for you. Like, I don't want you to come to the agency and then like cut your salary in half or something, like, which is never what would have happened. Like we would have figured it out. But obviously I'm not like, I like nice things and I like to make good money, but I also am not a little like brat where I'm like idiot or an idiot.
I would just make what I could make. I wouldn't like pay myself out more than, you know what I mean? But
it's just like such a crazy concept of like,
but like everything. Remember that week, like I got so many like brand deals. And then immediately I got an offer for like, something that's way more like suitable for challenging me and like moving me on to that next level. I mean,
to literally put it into perspective, Zoe left a job without a job lined up. And I was so nervous for her financially. I was nervous for you financially, honestly, when you left.
Remember, I just said, I'm like, I wasn't scared at all.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
But to put it into perspective, the reason I was scared for you to leave Chomps was solely finances. Like I was like, not because she was in a bad financial state, just because I was overthinking. And I was like, that's scary. And then you bought a house like 3 months later.
Oh my God.
So to like put it into perspective, like the reason I was scared for you to leave, the reason I was scared for you to leave was finances.
Yeah, that's insane. I just knew.
Take the risk.
No, take the risk. And
that's what I'm going to call this episode. Take the risk.
Yeah.
Episode 32.
Literally believe in yourself. And the other thing is, I'm not fucking special.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, obviously I'm good at what I do. No, but like, obviously. No, I'm not special. It's literally believe in yourself and you can do anything you want. And that's it.
I love the way this episode, we're going to wrap this up, but I love the way this episode went. And I think a fun little way to like wrap this up actually, because where the episode started to where it ended, Zoe was talking about this at dinner that like, how like her first like gorgeous event, like kind of like changed her like perspective on like life, kind of like changed like your whole trajectory in your career, I feel like.
And I'm sorry if I just really like this story because it opened up my mind, and for a really long time I was scared. And when you're comfortable and you're paying the bills and you've got benefits and
what even is a benefit?
What is a benefit? I don't know. Screw benefits. Like if that's what's holding you back from moving on.
They're not even good.
Yeah. You think I don't know. That's a whole
nother episode.
Yeah. So.
Like literally, what even are benefits?
Seriously? No, seriously.
Like what am I paying everyone?
I remember my friend Meg told me that one time where I was like, I don't know. I get good benefits and like PTO and stuff. And she's like, you can literally make more. You can get your benefits and make more.
Yeah.
And get yourself those benefits for cheaper. And
yeah.
I was like, no. No, I was so scared. And so for so long, I felt, so attached to the job and scared and comfortable and all of that. And honestly, my going to D2CX retain, I think that's what I don't remember what it was called, but it was 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Wait, no. So this is the third year. So was it 2 years ago or was it 3 years ago?
That always confuses me.
I don't know. 2 years ago. This is the third year. So this is 2 years ago. I went to D2CX retain. I really just tried to not make awkward conversation. So I started asking around people like I was like, I'm not going to ask them what they do or, whatever. boring work stuff, I'm going to ask them what their biggest mistake was. I don't remember why I wanted to ask people that, but it created such great conversation. It made me like, I met so many good people, so many nice people who are willing to talk. We laughed so much, and it became a podcast, which is RIP that podcast. Maybe one day we'll talk about it, but RIP that podcast. But it empowered me to talk to others, understand what's out there, understand how much people make, understand how much money is really out there.
Salary transparency is a whole nother episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, and it's not even just about the money, but it's more about like believing in yourself and understand, like not feeling stuck.
It's like opportunity transparency. I feel like people don't even realize like what even is attainable.
And I think maybe Brittany and I talked about it a little bit in the podcast where it was like, sometimes in life you can feel like there's no options, or, you know, you only know how to do this one thing and that's all you get, you know, and
that's such a real feeling when you like actually feel that way. Cause I have felt that way. That is such a real feeling, but it is so not real. Yeah. It's a real feeling, but it's not a real thing.
Yeah. And I love e-commerce so much because it shows you so many parts of business that every little thing, like we were saying in the podcast, is its own job. And whatever you enjoy doing, you can make it your job, and like you can transition so smoothly from just wanting to learn about it. And if you work for good people or work with good people, it's really important to me. And I've been having a lot of these discussions with, you know, everyone that I'm around me of like, you don't ever have to do anything you don't enjoy. Yeah. So tell me if there's something you don't enjoy. Obviously it's a job, and like sometimes you're not going to want to like wake up and go to work that day, but for like 95% of your days, you should be enjoying what you're doing. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you don't have to do it.
No. Zoe says that to like all the agency girls all the time. Like whenever Zoe has like touch bases with anyone, she's always like, and by the way, like, do you still like what you're doing? Because if you don't, like, let's figure it out. Like, because it just doesn't have to be that way.
For example, I hate the finances part, and Jackie loves it.
I oddly really enjoy it.
And so why would I do it if I don't like it and Jackie likes it? Why doesn't she just do it and then I do something else that I like and Jackie doesn't enjoy?
Exactly.
What's something I like that you don't like? Maybe example is talking about gorgeous features at a dinner.
Yeah, like Zoe describes it as fun. And don't get me wrong, like I found it interesting. Just wouldn't say it's fun. And here's the thing, I think a lot of the gorgeous team also would say it's not fun. You know, like I don't know if like everybody would say it's fun. You know what I mean?
I'm such a weirdo, but I love that stuff. And
she really does. Like she's actually like not even just like, she's not even being a pick-me girl right now. Like she like actually does love it.
I do.
I could tell like when we were sitting at the table, I was like, she like is actually like not okay. She's like loving this too much, because like a topic would kind of die out and then she'd be like, yeah, but anyways, like back to that feature, I really am like so into that, but here's some issues with it, if I could talk to you about it, but there's not really any issues, but this is something you could improve on. Like she also was like, so that's like such a good thing about like why you should like actually like, which this is like good, I like when any like influencer or whatever I like pay attention to like is also transparent about brands that they like Zoe had no problem just being like, this is something you can improve on that feature, like love it, always going to be loyal, but you can improve on this.
Well, like I don't want to see brands that I like, no matter what, you know, gorgeous or anything, go down a path where it's going to hurt them, because I've seen it, like you can have blinders on, and so if I enjoy a brand or a tech partner or whatever, and I see them doing something, because also I have the insight of other people talking about it and like my own insight of using it. So if I see something going down the path of this isn't going to go well. Yeah. What do you guys think about it? Or like, what are you going to do about it? Or do you even know? And honestly, I don't want it to seem like there's anything wrong, but it's just how business is. It's like things change and businesses grow, and you know, like you don't know something until you try it, and that's business everywhere. And so, yeah, I'm not afraid to be like, and also Gorgeous is so great that they wouldn't mind me talking about it.
No, we were sitting at the table and the I won't say like who we were talking to, but he was like, please tell me like what you think. And then like when Zoe would say like something that like was like a criticism, he would finish her sentence before he like, that was something that I thought was cool. Like they know their pain points. Like he would like finish your sentences when you were like saying something that you thought they could like improve on, which is very little because Gorgeous is the best. But
yeah, no, and I wouldn't even, they would be okay, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit, but like the pain points that people have, they are aware of them, and I'm not afraid to talk about them. And it's just like any tech brand. Let's say like it's pricing, for example.
Yeah.
Like, and it's pricing when we were talking about with the agency, like we know pricing is a pain point for, you know, we don't want to charge a client something that we're starting or helping startups, and we know that they're on fixed, you know, everything, and they're in the same boat as us. So we're
they have
trying to make
strict
sure
budgets
that,
and stuff.
yeah, we can pay our employees, but have enough money in the bank in case you can't pay your invoice on time because things happen. So we're all working together, and I think that Gorgeous is a good example of working together of, well, they need to pay these developers, or who knows, I don't know how to operate a tech brand, but I'm sure there's reasons for all of their pricing. And you know, founders do deserve to, like, they work hard, and you know, I don't know all the situations, but a business needs to make money.
Yeah.
And so that's all it is. And it's like, how do you make sure your clients are happy, your customers are happy, and then you're able to pay your employees, and you should reap the benefits of all your hard work. So it's like, you should, all of those things. But they really listen.
Yeah, they really do.
And it's so sweet. And it's like Disney World.
And on that note, we're out of here.
Jackie's like, oh no, she's starting talking about Gorgeous again.
Yeah, like this will keep going on and on. So like I have to wrap it up at some point. But this was fun. I actually like really enjoyed this episode. I feel like our best episodes are always when there's like no agenda, but it's like so important to have an agenda. But I know. But we kind of had it. We kind of had an agenda. We like knew what we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
But
anyways, housekeeping.
When this is live, a new vlog is also live. So, watch it. Could be like a couple hours late because I'm doing the math in my head. No, it shouldn't though, because it will be uploading through the night. Nope. It will be live when this is live.
Okay. Whatever you say.
It really will be.
Jackie does so much. I can't believe. I don't know. We need a whole like Jackie appreciation episode. But
we don't.
What?
We don't.
We do. And like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube. So if you're listening to this anywhere else or on YouTube, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. I don't even care if you have never go back on the YouTube app. Just hit that subscribe button.
It so that we can use the features.
And so that we can pay our employees just in case a client doesn't pay their invoice.
I'm dead if like somebody's listening to this and is like, are they like broke? Because we're like constantly like, so we can pay. We're not. The agency is booming. It's just even when things are good, they're scary.
Yeah, they're scary, but
things
they make it less scary.
Yeah.
I love this episode. It was
Me
so
too.
cool.
It was good.
All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you next
I'm
week.
not editing this, so hopefully everything's fine.
Yep. We're going to leave everything in. Bye.